Hello YouTubers out there, this is the Boob Wasteland Show. And now Mr. Booby, what do we have in store today from the world of television? Hello YouTubers out there, and this is the Boob Wasteland Show with your host Jerry Saravia. So tonight I'm discussing SNL 40, the 40th anniversary that aired on Sunday, the February 15th of 2015. So that's right, it was 40 years since SNL first premiered, 1975. And I gotta say it was really quite enjoyable. It was very funny overall. For a 3.5-hour comedy special, not bad. I mean, they brought back just about everybody, including Will Ferrell, Steve Martin, David Spade. God, I mean, there's just so many people. Chris Rock, Adam Sandler, Bill Murray. It's just so many people. Bill Murray did the lyrics to the song Jaws, which was kind of funny because back in the day he did the song, he gave lyrics rather to the theme, the music theme for Star Wars, you know, oh Star Wars, nothing but Star Wars, you know, of course they played a clip of that. Melissa McCarthy also appeared, who's been one of the funniest guest hosts they've had on SNL. This past season I haven't really been interested in watching as much because of all the people that have seemingly disappeared from the show. And I think I even looked at one with Chris Rock and it just wasn't there. The energy wasn't there. You just didn't feel it. You know, you need the right kind of people, and they have some good people on there now. But the thing was that it was an odd evening in the sense of this, and there were some very funny jokes throughout, and Celebrity Jeopardy with Will Ferrell, and all the good stuff that you come to expect. Chevy Chase appeared briefly and was given an introduction, and he came on stage and he was dressed in a suit, and then he did an old routine, and but he was still being Chevy Chase. But when Eddie Murphy came on, that's what I mean, because the thing about SNL 40 is that it was being advertised on television as something to really see. This is SNL 40, and then all these names would show up on the screen, and then Eddie Murphy. So of course you're thinking Eddie Murphy's going to be on and he's going to do some sort of a skit or a monologue or something. Because Eddie Murphy had not been on SNL, nor did he participate in any reunions of any kind since he left, which I'm not exactly sure the date, but I'm going to say in '86, somewhere around there, maybe '87. Anyhow, he has not been on SNL since, until Sunday night. Now, he came out and Chris Rock did his thing. He said, you remember Chris Rock? This is Chris Rock here. Do you remember Eddie Murphy? And oh my God, this is the guy that inspired me, and I wanted to be Eddie Murphy, and nobody could be Eddie Murphy, but here is Eddie Murphy, and oh, this is the guy from 48 Hours, and he did SNL and Trading Places and blah 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 blah. So the whole spiel went on for a while, and then out comes Eddie Murphy and says, hey, how you doing? This is Eddie Murphy. Have a good night. And I just thought, you know, come on, are you kidding me? I mean, that is not all Eddie Murphy said. He said it was like being back in high school, but he left, and he just, this was like being in high school, and you know, then there was some sort of a glitch with the teleprompter, and then he started to reintroduce, oh wait, I'm so happy to be here, like he had just said previously, and that was it. And that was, to me, the biggest disappointment, because Eddie Murphy made SNL the show that it was. I mean, granted, there were great people before Eddie Murphy came on. As I said before, Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Steve Martin, John Belushi, Chevy Chase, all of these people. But in particular, when Eddie Murphy came on, he even famously, when he did come on, would even say, there would be the opening, and then you said, hey, it's going to be the Eddie Murphy show. You know, so he sold it that way. But, you know, when he left, it just wasn't the same. But it's been, you know, funny here and there, SNL. I'm not going to say it hasn't been, but Eddie Murphy was just one of the very best. I mean, this guy has a prodigious talent. It's an amazing talent. And, you know, to be invited back to the show and Chris Rock's introduction being funnier than Eddie Murphy's moment just seemed odd. It was kind of like Charles Chaplin when he got his Lifetime Achievement Oscar way back when, and came on and accepted it, and, you know, before you know it, he left. He did a little dance as a little tramp, and then that was it. And it was, you know, he had been in exile for years. He returns to the United States, and, you know, that's it. I guess it was just gracious enough on his part to return, and it was gracious enough for Eddie Murphy to return. But you expected more, because it was advertised that way. So it was a bit of a disappointment. There wasn't a joke there. It was just Eddie Murphy saying, thanks for inviting me, and then that was it. And that was really disappointing. So, but other than that, it was a pretty good show. Jim Carrey was even on, pretending to be Matthew McConaughey on Celebrity Jeopardy. So there was a lot of great skits throughout. But the Eddie Murphy thing just kind of, it just felt, I don't know, like just sour. I expected a little bit more, even just a little monologue. He could have told a couple of jokes. I don't know. Even Chevy Chase did that. You know what I'm saying? And he was just on stage briefly, just thanking everybody for, well, you know, thanks for inviting me, kind of thing. Anyhow, all right, there you go. That's my view on it. And this is the Boob Wasteland Show with your host, Jerry Saravia, signing off.